Right, so first things, let me explain the vest and the oily skinness. Basically, it's really hot and it's like the hottest day of the year where I live right now, and it's still really hot even though it's 2 AM. So this is why you're getting this. So as I just said, it's 2 AM right now, and I'm deciding this is a good time to make a video when everyone's asleep in the neighbourhood. I'm going to make a video. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do something I'm going to call Story Time with Courtney. Basically, I'm going to tell you a story from my childhood, going back in time to delve into the mysteries that I call my life. I hope you enjoy. And this particular story is about a near-death experience that I once had. The only near-death experience that I've ever had. If you don't know what that is, it's where you nearly die, if you couldn't get that from the context. So my near-death experience took place at somewhere called Party in the Park, which is a festival, a music festival. It involved music, obviously, and grass. There was a lot of grass, and alcoholic beverages. I wasn't drinking them. I was about 10, so I wasn't really into alcohol at that point. So we had been there the whole day. It was a whole day event, and you know, we were quite tired. We were feeling the stress of today's events, but like as the music was finishing, to the right of where we were, like the main stage, we saw one of those travelling fairground things that you get at these sort of events. And one ride in particular seemed to catch all of our eyes. And it was this ride where you sit along in these lines and it like spins around and flips and does all of this crazy shit. And we were looking at it and we were thinking, we want to ride that thing. So I go up to my dad and I'm like, Dad, can we go on that ride over there? And he's like, sure son, let's go. I'm not sure why my dad's American. So we walk over, and I can remember one of my first thoughts was about the guy who was like supervising the ride. Now this guy, he had a bad look, okay? He had like the classic hillbilly look, which, I mean, that's not really who you want supervising that sort of ride, is it? But anyway, that didn't stop us. We were obviously determined to go on this ride. Nothing was going to stop us from going on this ride on this day. So we pay up, we get our tokens for the ride, we wait in line, and after a short wait, it's our turn. So we walk up the little stairs over to like our area for the ride. We sit along in a line. I've got my cousin to my one side and I got my paps to the other. And I could tell, you know, like as soon as I sat in that ride, I could tell that it wasn't built for me, okay? The belt didn't fit around me, I wasn't secure, but in my foolish 10-year-old head, I thought, you know what, Courtney? Embrace it, okay? Hold on tight. Have the ride of your life. Bad move, okay? If I could go back and talk to myself, I'd say, Courtney, get the f*** out of that ride, alright? It's not safe for you in there. It's not worth it, man. It's not even that good of a ride. But on that particular day, I was feeling reckless, alright? So I strapped in as good as I could, and I was ready. I was ready to ride. So the ride starts. I'm feeling alright. I mean, my hands, they're holding on tight, okay? I have like the death vice on this metal bar. I mean, if I put those hands around a small child's neck, that child's head would pop off, okay? I was like holding on for my life. So it does its first flip, and that was the moment that I realised I had made a big mistake by coming on this ride. My arse was hovering above the seat, okay? I was like in some sort of slow-mo Matrix shit, and I just thought to myself, you know what, Courtney, you're as good as gone. So at this moment, I turn to my dad and I say, Dad, this isn't good, okay? I can't remember exactly what I said. I'm gonna have to do like a bit of improv here. But basically, I said, Dad, this isn't good. I'm not suitable for this ride. I need to get off. And you can imagine, when you're flipping around and doing all this crazy shit, it's not the best time to have a serious conversation with your dad. So he basically said, suck it up, hold on tight, you'll be okay. And you know what? I felt a little neglected, okay? I was only 10, I didn't know how this stuff works. I asked my dad to stop the ride, and he didn't. I wasn't happy. But anyway, I knew I just had to hold on and get through the ride. And you know, I thought I'd be able to do it, okay? So there's a few flips, so I get some air a couple of times. No big deal. This was until the worst thing that could have happened to me at this time came true. The man manoeuvring the ride decided flipping it wasn't enough. He needed to let it hover upside down. Yeah, so I'm sitting in this ride, worried for my life, like honestly, and I feel another flip coming on, so I close my eyes, get my death grasp back on, and like suddenly as it's flipping, I feel the ride stop, and like I open my eyes and I'm like, what? What is going on? This was the first upside down hover that took place. There were many more to come, and this was when I first realised this was a lot worse than I first thought. So we're hovering for a good 4 seconds upside down, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs to my dad. I'm screaming, Dad, Dad, help me, I'm gonna fall out. This was when he finally started to take me a bit more seriously, okay? And like he turned to me and he looked at me with genuine fear in his eyes, like I had never seen from my father before. So he grabs me with one of his arms, okay, sacrificing one of his own lifelines for his child, and puts it around my waist like a lion to a cub, and he reels me in closer to him. And it's no longer me screaming for help. It's my dad's turn now. He's shouting at the hillbilly, manoeuvring the ride, going, "Stop the ride, stop the ride." But alas, it was to no avail. We might as well have been in space. I mean, you know how they say, in space no one can hear you scream. On this ride no one can hear you scream either. At this moment there really was nothing we could do. We were merely pawns in the game of life. I mean, I honestly thought I was done, okay? I started writing my will right then and there. I got out a notepad and a pen. Well, I didn't really. But my dad says to me, just hold on tight, okay? And trust me, hold on tight is what I did. Even with my dad's giant body wrapped around me and my weak 10-year-old arms grasping onto this metal bar as tightly as they could, I still didn't feel safe. And soon enough came the second upside down hover, and let me tell you, if you ever see one of these rides, don't go on it. Let me take away the fact I was nearly falling out and plummeting to my death for a second. It's just not an enjoyable ride. It's not fun. And I remember looking to my left, to my cousin, to see how he was getting on, and no word of a lie, he was going through the exact same thing as me. He's a year older than me, but just like me, his ass was hovering off the seat, and he was nearly falling out as well. They didn't design this ride very well. But anyway, this went on for a good 2 to 3 minutes. We had about 4 upside down hovers to endure, and trust me, they didn't get easier as time passed. So once the ride started slowing down and it came to a halt, I got out, I was shaken, battered and bruised, with a newfound appreciation for life. I honestly feel like I survived a Final Destination that day. The Grim Reaper wanted me, but a divine spirit saved me from that ride. And the thing is, it hasn't even left me with any mental scars or anything. I love theme parks and roller coasters. Thorpe Park, get me there. But if I saw one of those rides, you could not pay me enough money in the world to go on it. So that's my near-death experience. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and you'd like me to do another story time with Courtney, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up down below. It really helps me out. And I will see you soon with another video. End screen! Jesus, that ride was some scary shit. Imagine if I had died at 10. None of you guys would even know who I am. This YouTube wouldn't exist. That's deep.